My name is Evelyn Monroe. I'm 69 years old, and I live by myself in a quiet town in Pennsylvania. People often compliment my little cottage. They notice the colorful flowers by the porch, the old wooden swing beside the window, and the tiny bird feeders hanging from the maple tree. They say my home feels peaceful. They don't know how lonely it becomes after sunset. My husband, Thomas, passed away 5 years ago after a long battle with illness. Since then, silence has become part of my daily life. I have one child, my son Nathan. He is 39 years old and lives in Pittsburgh with his wife Olivia and their 8-year-old daughter Lily. Nathan has always been the greatest joy of my life. When he was little, he followed me everywhere. Whether I was cooking dinner or planting flowers, he wanted to help. Before bed, he hugged me every night and whispered, "Love you, Mom." Back then, I believed nothing could ever come between us. As the years passed, Nathan grew into a hard-working man. He built a successful career, married a wonderful woman, and became a caring father. Watching him create a happy family made me proud. Even after moving away, he always stayed close. Every Sunday afternoon, my phone rang. "Hi, Mom. How's everything?" Those weekly conversations became the brightest part of my life. Sometimes little Lily grabbed the phone to tell me about school, new books she had read, or the cookies she baked with her mother. Those moments made my quiet house feel alive again. But life changes quietly. Nathan's work became more demanding. The long Sunday conversations slowly turned into quick phone calls. Soon they became short text messages. "Sorry, Mom. Busy week. Love you." I always replied the same way. "Don't worry, sweetheart. Take care of yourself." I never wanted him to think I was lonely. Every Sunday, I still brewed my favorite tea and placed my phone beside my chair. Then I waited. Some afternoons it rang. Many afternoons it didn't. I kept telling myself, maybe next Sunday. One cold evening in late autumn, I decided to clean an old cabinet in the hallway. Inside, I found a faded green photo album. As I turned the pages, memories surrounded me. There was Nathan on his first day of school wearing a backpack almost bigger than his body. Another picture showed us fishing together beside a quiet lake when he was 9. Then I found my favorite photograph. Nathan was 7 years old, laughing while we built a snowman after a heavy snowfall. His tiny hand was wrapped tightly around mine. I smiled as tears quietly filled my eyes. "I miss those days," I whispered. The house felt strangely empty. The ticking clock sounded louder than usual. Outside, dry leaves danced across the porch. Suddenly, I felt pressure in the center of my chest. It wasn't severe, just uncomfortable. I slowly sat down and rested for several minutes. "It must be old age," I told myself. Without thinking, I picked up my phone and called Nathan. The phone rang several times. No answer. His voicemail began. I forced a cheerful voice. "Hi, sweetheart. It's Mom." I paused. "I just wanted to hear your voice. I've been feeling a little tired today, but I'm all right. Call whenever you have time." Before ending the message, I softly added, "I love you, Nathan. Never forget that." After hanging up, I stared at my phone. The screen stayed dark. I looked once more at the old photograph beside me. A smiling little boy looked back at me, holding my hand as though he would never let go. "I miss you," I whispered. Outside, the wind became stronger. Inside, the pain in my chest slowly returned. This time it was heavier. A strange feeling settled deep inside me. For reasons I couldn't explain, I suddenly felt that this ordinary evening was about to change my life forever. When I opened my eyes again, bright hospital lights filled the room. A nurse smiled gently. "You gave us quite a scare, Mrs. Monroe." I soon learned I had suffered a mild heart attack. The doctors told me I had arrived just in time because my next-door neighbor Martha noticed my mail piling up and called for help. For the next few days, Martha visited every afternoon with homemade soup, fresh flowers, and crossword puzzles. She stayed until visiting hours ended, making the hospital room feel less lonely. But every evening, I found myself looking at my phone. Nathan still hadn't called. On the fourth morning, my phone finally rang. "Mom, I'm sorry," he said before I could speak. His voice sounded tired. "I've been overwhelmed." I almost told him everything, that I was lying in a hospital bed, frightened and alone. Instead, I smiled through my tears. "I'm all right, sweetheart." The call lasted less than 2 minutes. After we hung up, I quietly cried, not because he loved me less, but because somewhere along the way, we had both hidden our pain from each other. A week later, I returned home. 3 days after that, a familiar car stopped outside my house. Nathan rushed to the front door and hugged me tighter than he had in years. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Over coffee, he finally told me the truth. Months earlier, he had lost his job. Ashamed and desperate, he had been working 2 temporary jobs while searching for something permanent. Every day he planned to call me, but he kept waiting until he had good news. "I didn't want you to worry," he admitted. Then his eyes filled with tears. "When I finally listened to your voicemail, the hospital had already called. I thought I was too late." I reached across the table and held his hands. "You never needed success to make me proud," I said softly. "I only needed you." A few weeks later, Nathan surprised me with wonderful news. He had accepted a new position in a nearby town, only 30 minutes from my home. Soon he, Olivia, and little Lily moved closer. My quiet house slowly filled with laughter again. Every evening my phone rang. Sometimes the conversation lasted only 5 minutes. Sometimes Nathan simply called to say, "I was thinking about you." Those small calls meant more than any expensive gift. One afternoon, I deleted the old voicemail I had left the night before my heart attack. I didn't need it anymore. Now I could hear my son's real voice whenever I wanted. Looking back, I learned that love is not measured by how busy life becomes. It is measured by making time for the people whose voices you would miss forever if they suddenly became silent.